So this is our side yard garden. In the previous video I ran out of storage, and so the video automatically shut off on me before I could continue with this part of the tour. So I did mention the strawberries and that they are doing very well, and you can see again plenty of berries. We're getting about a big bowl every day. That's really nice. But there's more than that. We've got potatoes in this one, and so there's potatoes along the edges, and then in the middle, these little guys in the middle are bush beans. And so we'll have the potatoes growing, then the bush beans growing up in the middle. We can pick from them. These are all different herbs and medicinals. I don't really know what they are, but I do see that there's basil, there's coneflower. I'm not really sure what that's for, but I think there's chamomile in here somewhere, and sage, and cilantro, all kinds of stuff. And so that's her bed for that, my wife's bed. Over here we've got different kinds of peppers and some tomatoes and I believe pumpkins. I think she did pumpkins and watermelons. So whatever those are. There's also supposed to be some bush beans coming up here. Ooh, yeah. Looks like they are starting to come up. So that's really nice. We'll get some, I think these ones are the rattlesnake pole beans. And I don't remember what the other kinds were. There were the rattlesnake ones. There were maybe some purple ones and some others with really pretty flowers on them. So they'll be aesthetically pleasing as well. I did make these bamboo beanpole trellises here. We've got the big sticks of bamboo going vertical, and then these little horizontal guys going up to help it trail up. So that should, I'm hoping, work very well. As I see this though, I bet the kids have been playing with it and that fell off. I used zip ties, so I went the cheap and quick route, so they might not be the sturdiest poles ever made, but they should work just fine. Coming up here, we've got this bed that I think also has watermelons and pumpkins of different kinds in here, and there are some little ones popping up here and there. So that's looking good. I think these are the rest of the peppers. So we've got other bell pepper types, and one of them's a jalapeno. I think the jalapeno's in that bed, I'm not sure. And that's the last garden bed. Over here we've got the compost bin. Got 3 in a row here, so all the fresh stuff goes in here. And then as that starts to break down, we need to rotate. We rotate basically moving out to the side. So this one's been emptied. I use that for basically all my planting. This one is ready to be converted into this bin, where that's mostly done. It needs to be turned up and moved over. And then so this fresh stuff will get moved in the middle one, and that'll be in the middle stages, and then we'll fill up the fresh one again. And you just constantly rotate, and it works pretty well that way. So we've had that for about a year or two, and have enjoyed that as well. Coming up this way, we've got the mulberries, or not mulberries, sorry. These are the muscadines and grapes. So this is one of the muscadines here. We've got one here and one here, and they are growing very well. They're not budding yet, so we'll see how those go. This is only their second growing year, but hopefully we'll get something off of those this year. I'm looking forward to it. These are grapes. I've also got 3 grapes along here, and they are starting to show signs of fruiting. And you should be able to tell these are looking really good. We've got lots of those little clusters starting to come up, so we should be seeing some really good harvests off of these grapes as well this year, so that'll be really interesting. There's a few different varieties. I think they might be all 3 different varieties if I remember right. These are blackberries. So they did not provide us with, I don't think, a single berry last year. If they did, it wasn't much. I didn't get to have any. The kids might have picked them, I don't know. But this year you can see all these flowers. They're going to do great. Really looking forward to that. Those are getting there. There's 3 of those in a row on this fence line that backs up to, that was the chicken area I was in the previous video with all the seedlings. I double checked the seedlings I have. I've got nanny berries, service berries, witch hazel, spice bush, pawpaws, pecans, oaks, and there were even a few more than that now I'm not remembering. Hazelnuts, chokeberries, all kinds of stuff. So that's what the random variety is through there, and you'll see some more here in a minute as well. Here's a little raspberry. Actually, it used to be a big, well, it used to be a little one like this last year. This year, this one really took off, and that one was dead. So I got that as a sucker from this giant one, and that sucker is doing well. It's been there for a few weeks, and it's already about doubled in size, so that's a good sign. And this big one that survived well from last year, you can see already has lots of these little berries, raspberries starting to form on there. So that should do really well. Looking forward to those. They were very yummy, very delicious. Going on to the next is a different type of raspberry. This is actually a wine berry, and this one also looks like it already has some fruits coming up. They were very yummy too. I think I only got a few of those last year. We got a few raspberries last year, and they were extremely good as well. So I'm looking forward to all those coming up. And then these two are mulberries, and they started off last year about half the size of that one. And that one, you can tell his leafing out is not nearly at the stage this guy is, but this guy gets more sun and this guy does not, so that does make sense. But as I'm looking, there are plenty of these little guys starting to form, so we should get some berries. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's little buds there that look like they're the beginnings of the berries. We didn't get any last year, so I'm really looking forward to trying out these mulberries. And then coming along here, you should be able to see little bits. Where are they? Right there, caution tape there, some there. And that's, again, it's the same theme I've been doing, where I can kind of stagger back and forth. That allows me to fit as much in as possible and still be able to go in and get stuff. This is the chicken area. You can see some chickens throughout here, and so that should provide them with some extra food as well, but also we can walk through here and get stuff. I also did get some elderberry. Elderberries can be poisonous because of the seeds in them, and so I didn't want them around where the kids are, so I put them in the chicken area. They can technically still be poisonous to chickens, so don't do what I do without really looking into it. But based on the research I did, most people that have elderberries in with their chickens have zero problems. Chickens peck at a few of them, and not a big deal at all. Again, I could be wrong, could not go well, we will see. But from all the reports that I read and the research I did, it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. So we'll see how those do. There's elderberry mixed in with all those, and we'll make some probably elderberry syrup. We use that for treating colds and small doses for a preventative for us and the kids, and been doing that for about a year, and that seems to be helping boost our immune system, which is really nice. And then looking down here, that little guy there, there's another little one there. Those are some native blackberries, one there. So we should get some blackberries growing on this fence. It's pretty shady, so I probably won't see a whole lot of fruiting, but we'll see some, I'm sure, especially with them being the native variety. And then all along here, I've planted little seedlings. So I think there's a pawpaw, maybe nannyberry, serviceberry. Did some of the, I think the witch hazels back here. One of these, I'm not really sure. It's kind of like the rest of them. They got jumbled up, and I basically kept the sizes together. In the end, it ended up being where I had a bucket of like really large trees, medium-sized trees, small trees, and small shrubs. And so, yeah, we'll see what they end up all being. But those are planted all along here, and so that should kind of enclose this area where we'll still be able to see this very beautiful field behind us here, but it'll feel a little more private in the summer when things are leafing out and growing, and in the winter we'll get to see the view a little better. And there's a mountain way in the background back there that you can see when all the leaves are off the trees in the winter time. So that'll be pretty. Along here on this fence, there's also blackberries there, and there. So this fence line will be blackberries as well. And that should finish off the whole look, the potager garden look, where it's kind of walled off by plants and it feels private. This is the burn pit that is not very pretty. I haven't worked on that yet. I'll get to that at some point, but we've had plenty of little fires here. We burn our cardboard and paper and stuff. That way we don't have to haul it in for recycling or anything, and that works pretty well. This is a gate that I had made out of a pallet and it worked pretty well. All of this fencing has been new as of this big project I've been doing lately. Here's the herb bed that is taken over with mainly three things. We've got lavender and oregano and thyme, and they've kind of taken over the whole bed. It's a pretty small bed, so that's kind of hence the reason for that bed over there. Then coming this way, I'd made this new bed where I tilled it up, and the soil's really crappy. We didn't weed it out extremely thoroughly, so we'll see how this goes. There are definitely plenty of little sunflowers coming up. My wife seeded some wildflowers, I think some annual flowers. So this will be a really pretty area, but over the next year or two, kind of like some of the other areas that are brand new, we'll build up the soil, we'll mulch it and add compost and different things like that, and kind of get that beefed up to be at the level of the rest of our stuff. And over here, we've got a goji berry here. I had another goji berry, I think it died. So I need to look up and see if he needs a pollinator or not. Really not sure about that. But we got one goji berry there, and all of this garden area is now officially done, and it turned out, in my opinion, pretty well. I finished up the gate here that I made and sealed it, sealed our porch swing and our columns, and did some water sealer, so those are all protected and they blend in now and all match, so that's nice. And our garden's really starting to take off in the front area. Eventually it'll be kind of a cottage garden look, where it'll be kind of taken over by various things of various heights and colors and all different kinds of stuff, so that should be really pretty as it starts to go. This is the first year it's actually looked decent. Last year it was pretty rough. Gargoyle's down. He needs to move to my area. I'll move him soon, probably after this. And so I think that's everything for this kind of side yard area and our second garden area.